It's been about a week since Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4 was announced, and we all popped off, went absolutely nuts. Bandai is finally bringing back such an iconic franchise, and that's super exciting. On the other hand, one of the best arena fighters ever made, if not the best, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm got a new game announcement that was received like this.
Oh, hell nah, bro. No!
So what happened? What can Storm learn from Tenkaichi's announcement, and what consequences will there be for the future of both of these games? Look, I've been in this industry for over 10 years now. I know I look young, thank you for saying that, but I've seen this cycle happen time and time again. Naruto Storm Connections had a very rough start, and it will probably never recover from this. Tenkaichi 4, on the other hand, is a game that will sell millions. Storm will also sell millions, by the way, but Tenkaichi 4 will sell way more millions. It's done. They don't need to show you any other trailer. The game is already selling like crazy. But if it comes out and people don't like it, the consequences are way worse than Connections' failure. Let's talk about it. Let's forget that these announcements happened. Let's imagine that the trailers you've seen have never happened before. And let's say that a new Storm game gets announced and a new Tenkaichi game gets announced. There's no trailer, they're just telling you, yo, we're making a new one of these. Which one do you think people would react to better? Type your answer in the comments while I drink my gamer subs. If you want to know why gamer subs, check out the link in the description below. Tenkaichi is the right answer, by the way. And the reason is simple. It's been way longer since the last time we got a new Tenkaichi game than a Storm game. A new Storm is hype, but a new Tenkaichi? Are you kidding me? The last time Tenkaichi was playable was back on the PlayStation 2 era. Online wasn't even a thing. Gaming has changed so much, we are so ready to see what a Tenkaichi game looks like nowadays. It's like they said, it's been 16 years since the last Tenkaichi, except it hasn't. For some reason, they want you to forget that Raging Blast came out, which was not 16 years ago, it was more like 12. You got Tenkaichi 4 and 5 right there. And they definitely want you to forget that Ultimate Tenkaichi was ever a thing about 11 years ago. No, Bandai Namco wants you to remember Budokai Tenkaichi 3, the fan favorite, one of the best-selling Dragon Ball games of all time, and not the game that almost killed the whole thing. Still, if we take those games into account, 11 years ago still beats Storm 4 by far, which was 7 years ago, or just 3 years ago if you count Road to Boruto. Yeah, it wasn't that long. So simply because of when the last game was released, it's a lot more exciting to get a new Tenkaichi than it is to get a new Storm. Even if the Storm Connections trailer was something like the Tenkaichi trailer, Tenkaichi would still receive more hype. But then, on top of that slight disadvantage, the new Storm doesn't look like a new game. And that's where the trailer messed up really bad. After that trailer was done, people were confused as to what the hell did they just watch? Was this a collection? Was this a remake? We weren't sure, but one thing we knew, it didn't feel like a new game. Some people still think that this is a Storm collection of games. That's how bad of a trailer it was. By the way, it is not a collection. There's a new story that tackles the entirety of the Naruto story, but it's not a collection of the previous Storm games. If they make me play through the Storm 1 story mode again, I will Naruto cannon myself out of the 5th floor. But even in the trailer, you see moments of the Storm 2 story with Storm 4 mechanics, proving that it is definitely not a collection. But the damage is done. There are players that you are never winning back again. No matter how well they promote the game from now on, Connections is Collections, then nothing is gonna change these players' minds. On the other hand, we have players thinking that this isn't a collection, but it's actually a remake. And to be completely honest and transparent with you guys, this is where I'm at. They are not calling it a remake, oh no, they're saying it's a new game, but what they're showing is a remake. Just like the remake they did with JoJo's All-Star Battle R. But it has new characters. So does JoJo. But it has a new story mode. So does JoJo. But it will most likely have new combat features. Again, so does JoJo. And they call JoJo All-Star Battle R a remake. Why are they not doing the same with Storm Connections? It's simple. Because they're not remaking a single game, they are remaking a trilogy of games. It feels bigger and it gives them the chance to not call it a remake. And if you don't call it a remake, you can charge $60 for it. Besides, remaking a PlayStation 3 game is a lot more acceptable than remaking a PlayStation 4 game. It just wouldn't look as good if they were more transparent there. With that said, I still think Connections is exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they're gonna promote the game from now on. Because they have to go on damage control and show people some actual new stuff. They have to start deleting the narrative that this is just a collection with 2 new characters. And they gotta do it soon, because the game is coming out this year. But it's because of this entire mess, this feeling that Storm isn't exactly a new game, but kind of a remake, that obviously the new Tenkaichi game is a lot more exciting. Or is it? You see, if Bandai Namco can call Storm Connections a new Storm game, then they can say that a simple Tenkaichi remake is actually a new Tenkaichi game. But it has Super Saiyan Blue, you say. Yep, and Connections has Indra and Ashura. Well, the cutscene is clearly brand new, that's a new story mode. Well, we don't know know what the cutscene is. Is it gameplay? Is it just cinematic? Is it a trailer exclusive cutscene, just like all the Dragon Ball The Breakers trailers? Come on, it clearly says that it's footage under development at the end. So it won't even look like that in the final game? What the hell? Now, to be clear with you, I don't believe any of this. I don't think this Tenkaichi will be a remake. I think it will be a brand new game. A new Tenkaichi with a focus on Dragon Ball Super, just like the old Tenkaichi games had a focus on Dragon Ball Z. It doesn't mean the new Tenkaichi won't have Dragon Ball Z stuff. I mean, the old games had the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT. I'm just saying it will have a Dragon Ball Super focus. But my point is, we do not know. It could be a remake. We don't know anything at this point. But that's exactly why the hype is so out of control. I'm excited for this new Tenkaichi, but reading some of your reactions, oh my god, hype doesn't even begin to describe it. And that's precisely because they haven't shown anything, so you're free to dream any game you could possibly want. Notice that they didn't even give us a developer. We don't know who is making this right now. Knowing the developer is a very good measure to set expectations, because we can look at their past work, see what games they have made in the past, and it's not always guaranteed. A developer sometimes will surprise you, sometimes will disappoint you, but it's a good starting point. And for Bandai to not even tell us who is making this game, that's a major red flag. And look, this is not the energy I want to bring to this community, because like I said, I am excited to see what's going to happen. But seeing how you react, boys, you gotta chill. We don't know if the gameplay is gonna be the way you like it. They're gonna modernize Tenkaichi. It will probably not play the same as the old games did. We haven't seen the online, but knowing Bandai Namco, I'm not expecting much. We're just excited about the idea of a new Tenkaichi, and that is fine. That is how I feel, but chill, because it's just an idea right now. I'll definitely go a bit more in depth in a future video on what you can expect from a new Tenkaichi game while keeping expectations realistic. But assuming they do everything right, I still think a lot of people are going to be disappointed. Now, if they do things wrong, with the amount of attention they just got from this announcement, if the new Tenkaichi game actually turns out to be a really bad game, I don't think they can recover from this. That's how big they have made this game already. If this game tanks, if it is terrible, the Tenkaichi name is burned for good. It is gone, dead, forget about it. So the consequences are horrible, and I think Bandai knows it, which is why I am optimistic that they'll do their best to put out a good product. But today is about how these two games got announced and how the reception was completely different. Storm Connections has a lot of damage control to go through right now, and Budokai Tenkaichi 4 has a lot of expectations to live up to. But at the end of the day, the one message I want to leave you guys with today is that there are no sides. There's somewhat of a fictional split in the community. There's Dragon Ball fans and there's Naruto fans. Do you know how tiny you are? Find me a Dragon Ball fan that does not like Naruto, and then find me a Naruto fan that doesn't like Dragon Ball. There are like 3 people on each side just yelling at each other. These two sides don't exist. If you're excited for Storm Connections, that doesn't suddenly make you an enemy of Tenkaichi 4, and vice versa. In fact, and this might come as a shock to you, Tenkaichi isn't even close to coming out. Most likely, it's not coming out this year, maybe not even the next one. Connections will be out, we will all probably buy it, play it, and get sick of it, and we'll still be waiting for the new Tenkaichi to come out. These two games are not competing with each other. It just looks that way because they both got announced very recently. And what I think is gonna happen now is that we're not gonna hear about Tenkaichi for a while, and Connections is going to have a ton of trailers in the near future, showing some of those new features, trying to convince everyone that this is more than a remake, and revealing some characters from now until release, which once again is this year. If this was a battle, then Tenkaichi won the announcement, 100%. And they did it with a 4-second trailer that's not even published on the Bandai Namco YouTube channel. It was made during the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour, and the only place where it is available right now is in that VOD. There's no clean version of this trailer without the audience sounds. That's how far from release we currently are, and how badly Tenkaichi beat Connections in the announcement. But that's only if this was a battle, and it's not. These two games are coming out at completely different times. But those are my 2 cents on these two announcements, and if you didn't know, there are more than 2 characters coming out for Connections. If you want to know how many exactly, I did the math and I did the science in this video right here. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.